Some of us arrived at 9, which is okay. Once again, I welcome you, our sisters from Valley Campus. You managed to keep time compared to even IU, Kampla campus students. Right? I pray we'll be patient so that we get somewhere to note it is of our benefit. Right? Once again, you're most welcome. I think we are here after the registration, right? Let me welcome our counselor to give us a word.
Sisters, you're most welcome. I appreciate the time management issue. I appreciate the smartness. All I can say, may Allah bless you for the whole of your life. Make opening remarks or thanking the Prophet. The first thing I'm going to, maybe I can share it. I'm just sharing that when you appreciate the efforts of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can't fail to practice what he taught. By appreciating him, you are recommended to keep praying for him. But since morning, have you prayed for the Prophet since morning? And we are here because of him. After Allah, we are here because of the Daawa that he spread among his class. So we should always praise him. That's why in Islam, for whatever assignment you are sent to, even when you are making your personal supplications, please teach yourself to always begin with appreciating the Prophet's role to Islam. You always begin with, oh Allah, I'm your servant, I'm here, and what have you present your side, then you also praise the Prophet. So learn to be doing it. In the process, you will achieve the numbers that have to do it in a day. Like some scholars say, you must do it for 100 times in a day, some 30. So whatever the number, but for as long as you've made it in a day, even if it is once. My word to you now, I pray to you also, sisters, being a learner and at the same time being a scholar, there are two different issues. For learners, they're just there to learn whatever comes their way. But for scholars, they take time to research and to attend to different conferences, different workshops, different seminars, read extensively in order to acquire knowledge that they are going to share that is backed up by well-researched data. So for so long as you're here, it means you are along that path. You've accepted to be scholars. The knowledge that you're going to acquire today, we hope you're going to relate it to what you learn, to what your personal readings, and then you will make a compilation of what you can share to others after here. Remember, Islam says you should share even if it is a single vowel. How in Islam, you should share even if it is a single vowel. So members of the great impact here, we know you make an impact after here. So please feel proud, please. You're most welcome and feel at home. As a counselor, I can say, members, you can't change yourself without accepting new ideas. You can only change yourself if you learn from others. And I'm sure you're here to learn from others so that you can change yourselves. You improve, just not change in your total self, but you can improve on yourselves. So we are here to improve on ourselves.
Thank you very much. Let's clap for our counselor. And as I had read the agenda, we have our first presenter, She is our Daawa minister, female. She will introduce herself. Latifa, you must welcome.
As we have Ministry of Daawa, which has its own cabinet, having different members sitting on the board. As you can see, the old cabinet. So we thank Allah for that, because most of the campus do not have that. Because being a Muslim, it is not only being in a religion, but it is a part of life. What we are all doing, it is part of our lives. So we thank Allah for that. Then another thing, I'll introduce to you to our ceremony, the Sisters Conference. You all know about it, but you don't know what is going to happen. So I'll give you the details of the events that we are going to have today. We are going to have different guest speakers, having different topics they are going to talk about. We have one of the topics we are going to talk about there is Islamic ethics and etiquette, where we are going to learn about how a Muslim woman must live her life. What are the principles of Islam saying about a lady, a woman, a mother? We are going to talk all about that. Then another topic is about financial literacy. Financial literacy, we ladies, most of us do not know how we have to plan our financial things. We get money, but we don't know how to use it. Most of us do not know how we can save our money. Yet we earn a lot sometimes, but we can't see it because we don't save. We don't plan for our money. So we have someone who is going to take us through in that program where we're going to learn about the financial literacy. Then another topic will be about the self-esteem and empowerment. Most of we ladies, mainly the Muslims, we lack self-confidence. Many opportunities come, but we can't access them due to the fact that we are not confident enough. So it is a disadvantage to the community of Muslims because we are outside in most of the programs occurring in the world and other areas. So we are going to talk about it, the presentation we have today. Then we also have another topic about relationship and academic excellence. We are all involved in relationships, but we don't know the limits where we have to go beyond the relationships. The age we are in is we have to be married by now, I will say that. But Allah has not yet enabled us, some of us. So we are going to learn, we are going to know more how we should conduct our relationships, how we should live within the relationships we have. The relationships I'm talking about, it is not only like some people know about the boyfriend, but even the people we are living with, the relatives, the friends, some of us do not know how we should treat those people. And another thing on that issue, it is academic excellence. We have to balance all those things so that we can achieve success. Because all of us who are here, our aim is academic excellence. So we have to know how to balance the relationships we are in and the academic excellence. On that, we have different speakers who are going to talk with us today. One of them, we have Dr. Hani Banama, the CEO Stepping Stone platform. Then we have Dr. Sheikh Ashraf Matabuya, who is a doctor, has a PhD. He has learned, his knowledge is enough and how to do that. So we will be having him soon. Then we have you know her. She's a new at NBS, so she'll be with us soon, inshallah. Then we have Hajat Janet Ayomodo. She will also be here soon, inshallah. Then after that, then I'm all coming you. And glad that you're here, alhamdulillah. So our conference is starting, inshallah. I won't go far because I've been given limited time. So I'll end by that. Let the moderator take us through the other activities we are going to have.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hey ladies. Why is the energy so low? Hi, how are you? What's wrong? Have you had breakfast? Because I don't know, you're not replying the way you're supposed to. You don't even need the energy. Please give me. Hi. Hello. How are you guys? Fine. Okay, so my name is Natalie Hawamosa, and I am the Deputy Guild Speaker, IU Kampala campus. I'm also the chairperson of the newly formed association, which is called the Sisterhood Nation. And I'm also part of Daawa, which has organized for us this wonderful conference. And for me personally, I think it's really important for us girls to meet and to connect as a group of people. So as we find a space that we can share and learn very many things, I think it's important for us because it shows us guidance and direction to take in regards to very many things. It shows us like which priorities we should take first when we are at campus or we are out of campus. So that's the main reason as to why we organize this conference. That's one of the reasons as to why this conference was organized. And that's also one of the objectives of the Sisterhood Nation as an association, because it's here to show direction in terms of educating a girl, to show them the priorities in life. Like for example, if you're here at campus, your first priority should be education, because that's the reason why you're here. So everything you do, you should make sure that, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going out, I'm going for the sisters conference, but education is my first priority. You should be 90% of that. You should give 90% of the time to education, then to other things, because that's the reason why you're here. And you should also know that in life you should give God the first priority, because you know in everything you do, like He's the one that brought us to this earth, so in everything you do, you have to make sure that He's the first priority. On that very point, I need to re-emphasize that point of hearing Allah or God for the Christians who are here. Because the reason as to why we have hearts in our bodies, or the reason as to why we are on this world is because of Allah. Like your heart, the main purpose of your heart is Allah. So if you bring in other things that are not connected with, like for example, if you don't put on your hijab for the ladies, that can disrupt you in a way, like that can damage your heart. So you have to bring your heart to the point to which it was created, like fear of Allah and everything. You make sure you hold that. And another thing, the other reason as to why we created this association, the Sisterhood Nation, is to make sure that we vocalize or we advocate for mental health of girls as people in the society, because we have very many things that disorganize us, or very many things that affect our mental health, or very many things that affect our well-being in terms of psychology. So we need to make sure that we address these issues. We need to know that we, as a person or as a girl, need to have that emotional intelligence, in that even if there are things that are disrupting you in your life, like there are very many things that disrupt us. It can be family, it can be friends, like you can have issues with friends, you can have issues with your health. There are people that have chronic illness and diseases, so they have issues with that. You can have issues with your marital life, if you're married. So all that, like to be able to be like, how can I manage this? Which kind of ability do I need to manage these things that are affecting me psychologically? Like how do I manage my mental health as a girl? So all this is really necessary. So that's why we bring up this
particular conferences and associations that help to advocate those issues. That you can know, like in such circumstances, what can you do? Because most of us, those mental health really tears us down, like reach a point of having suicidal thoughts and having like thoughts that you shouldn't have that will lead you to a very making bad decisions, following bad routes because of that guilt that you feel. So you need to know how to handle that. And one of the ways which I think you can handle that is, first of all, hearing Allah, because that's the cardinal point, and also having that emotional intelligence. You know how to handle your emotions and way, and how to handle the emotions of the people around you. Yes, so that's very crucial. So every step you take, because I think that actually all of us have issues mentally that affect us all the time. Because you can't be there in your sector, that's how life is. You can't be there and you're perfect and you're happy all the time. There are issues that come in and you're disturbed in a way or the other. So you need to know how to handle that. And one of the ways is, as I said, hearing about having emotional intelligence, attending such conferences that teach you how to do that. We shall be having speakers that speak about mental illness, so you should listen very well to them and know how to handle such issues. And then I think another thing as to why we form such conferences and associations is to know how to carry ourselves as girls. Because some people, when they join campus or when they join colleges, all they think is, okay, this is the time to have fun, which is actually not true. Okay, you can have fun, but it has to be limited. Like you have to know how to handle yourself. You have to have that dignity and decency that you give yourself. You have to give yourself some kind of respect. Like you have to be that girl, but in a good way. And you have to be classy, but not against disrespectful. So you have to put yourself in a shape that gives you some kind of respect, like composure, but respect, and like you have to attach yourself to a particular kind of dignity. So as you're doing things in life, you need to have that, like I'm a girl, but I need to be seen as a real. I need to be seen as someone that is a friend of Allah or someone that is loved by Allah, and at the same time loved and respected by people. And that when you can do that is having that decency, dignity, like that girl is really dignified and respected. So that should also be, you have to put note to that. And then another objective or aim as to why we have that sisterhood association, and also as to why we organize such conferences, is for us to be able to connect and interact within the society. Like now you're here, you'll be able to connect with the girls that are next to you, and you have to make sure that, okay, that person I'm sitting next to is my friend. And at that particular point, I request everyone needs to look at yourself when you're here, but let everyone bring their name, but say salam, maybe say hi, you can give like a hug to your neighbor. Yeah, so that you don't live here, as you say, you have to live here with a friend or two. I'm not saying you do it, bring your neighbor, guys. Say salam to your neighbor, you can give a brief hug. Yeah, that's good, because you never know if you can find someone here, but then you find them out and they have to help you out in a particular project. And then you remember, oh, I saw this girl at the conference, but you didn't say hi, or salam. So it doesn't, like you're there and you need help, but you can't ask her for help because you didn't get to interact with them. So the reason why we do this is to make girls connect to themselves and have that interaction with themselves, and make sure that they are together as a society. Because as you're here, you can notice that, okay, this girl is really good at listening. Oh, this girl is really good at solving issues or counseling. So you identify her, and when you get her to say, you find her and you're like, oh, hi, how are you? I need to talk to you because I noticed that you're this kind of person. So like you find that something you can confide in. So it's really important for us to be here and socialize as girls. Yes. And then another thing is like, for us, why we have these conferences is to be able to develop and impact the society. As we shall be seeing very various speakers that are going to be speaking to you today, and we shall notice that most of these are under certain organizations, and
and they're having a certain impact on the society. So that inspires us to also do the same, to have that impact in the society. Because as a person, for me personally, I feel that you should have an impact on the society, not just be there and you're not doing anything, you're just minding your business or something. You need to have that impact because even when you're out of this life, which we all will be, you are remembered for that and you keep getting rewards for that even after you leave. So basically, I welcome all of you here. Please feel at home for the campuses that have come from Cambodia and Arua and Bali. Thank you so much for sparing the time. Please feel at home. Learn a lot, like listen, don't think you can be on your phones. Listen to everyone that are going to speak to you. And then lastly, I also, because I know that the various leaders here from other campuses, that we have those associations or groups that connect women, because it's very important for us to meet and talk about it, because we have very many things to talk about as women, as we are going to talk about all the students issues. So it's important for us to have those groups. We can meet up with the leaders and we say maybe we are going to form the Sisterhood Nation as another branch in maybe Kampla campus from Bali, that we can develop it. It can help us to grow our goals and can also bring various benefits for us. Now that it's new, we have not yet had very many partnerships, but inshallah as we go ahead, we hope to have those partnerships that can be able to grow us and open us to very many opportunities and very many connections as we shall be seeing, inshallah. So I urge you to love yourself as well, because it's very important to have that self-esteem and self-love and self-confidence, to care for your friends, to care for your family, to respect the people that are around you, to focus on your education, focus on the right priorities in life. Don't give too attention to them issues that are not relevant for you as a person. Yes, and inshallah we shall be able to succeed in this life. Thank you so much.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All praise be to the Almighty Allah for having enabled us to be here in this wonderful gathering. May peace and blessings be bestowed upon our Lord Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. I take this opportunity to thank the organizers of this gathering, the organizers of this Sisters Conference, that what you have done is really something which is very, very important.
Thank you very much for your appreciation.
Thank you. And another thing is, I'd like to thank the people around for having welcomed us with good hearts. That indeed you have shown us that we are together. Though we are the one who has tried to manage time, we are the first person to reach far away from Bali. We traveled first night.
And I will not stop appreciating you for that, by the campus, for having arrived fast.
Okay. Can we clap for ourselves? We thought that maybe we shall reach when the session has already begun, but unfortunately we reached and we found nothing. We had even to start looking around for the brains to direct us where the session is. So please, Madam Speaker, the moderator, what fight for us to arrive here again. Okay. Before, I would like to let you know that after this session, we may not finish it, some of us. We're having another journey. I think that is the reason I saw you not even me the mic at the first moment. We are traveling to Arua. We're having a very different conference also. All the presidents of this campus, the Meadows campus, Messi, main campus, and Arua campus. We are going to meet there at Arua for a certain discussion. So please, after here, when you see some other people disappearing, don't start wondering down where are these people going. That will be the reason as to why they are not here.
Thank you for the information.
Okay, you're welcome. Madam Moderator, I'd like to thank you for the wonderful talks you have chosen for us, most especially self-esteem. Most of the people here, almost of us, we don't feel what we are. Why are we not comfortable with what Allah gave you? If you are short, feel yourself that you are short. If you are more than tall, why don't you feel comfortable with what Allah gave you? So, my dear sisters, let's appreciate what we are. Don't feel uncomfortable with what you are. If you're beautiful, don't say, me, I'm beautiful, I'm staying with people who are not of my... Feel comfortable, that is what Allah made you to be. Also, connectivity. I live here when I have already finished to give you my contact because I see new faces here and we have to get that linkage, that relationship among ourselves, such that when you come to Bali, you can realize that I was once with the Lady Vice Bali campus, and if I reach in Bali or I go in Uganda, I cannot get lost. Anyway, that is the home I come from. I come from Uganda. So in case you want to tour, you want to do what, you have the right person to make you move around that mountain, which always kills people, but we are the survivors. Thanks goes to Allah. So don't worry, for us where we are safe. Alhamdulillah. Because people are there, we are safe there, and you are alhamdulillah, we are safe. So please, let's feel free to associate. Before I continue, I can see the students of Bali main campus, they are seated together. I request you do like this. You move, you cross your steps. You mix up, please. We want to make friendships. Such that after our courses, after our education, you want to do your nikah, want to do what? You now go, who should I call? Who should I call to be part of my wedding? The friends are here. After here, you have to be like 10 numbers. Less than 10, my dear friends, you're doing nothing. So please, before I continue, let's mix. I don't want to see the faces of Vale seated together.
Please just add here to your device.
I know you are not used to the environment yet, but this is part of IU. Just feel at home and intermix with your fellow sisters. Because we are only one single sex here, we don't have gents here, whom we are sharing the seats. So just feel at home. Associates, feel free.
Also, IU Kampla campus, there is a valid site. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for bearing. I'm sorry for that interruption, but just endure with it. From here, you're going to be having friends. After here, Nadia, you'll be having some numbers of many students here, and you'll appreciate. Tell him that. You have already to cross, and go the other side and get new friends. Bushra, leave Tawheed that. Okay, thank you so much for bearing, because I know those individuals when they are together, they cannot pay attention. I know them very much. They love each other so much. But again, I want you to break the friendship between the Kampala campus friends, sisters, to the main campus. Okay? Let me hope we are together. And another thing is our speaker, Deputy Speaker Kampala campus, talked about success. The main reason as why we came to school, we came for studies. Let us focus on our goal, on our aims as to why we came here at campus, or as to why we are at school. Some other students...
We brilliantly have those conversations about menstrual health, those genuine conversations that captures the experiences of women and girls So as an organization, through the Sisters and Codes, we speak about those conversations that normal people do not speak about. Because we believe that it's extremely important for us to support women and girls in times where they're experiencing their medicines. Because we are a peace organization, we believe that oftentimes women might be experiencing some challenges, especially when they're on their peace. For example, myself, when I'm in peace, I'm very grumpy and angry and bitter. So I feel like even other women need some sort of extra support to ensure that they understand that this is something that Allah has ordained for all women, but we can find ways of maneuvering through the experiences of menstruation without hurting ourselves as well as hurting other people. Then we have another approach, that is research. As an organization, we believe that in programming you must have evidence for you to do any program. Because once you program without having evidence, you are most likely to bring in interventions that won't fit the challenges of the people. So through this, we engage our people to understand what we call the participatory action research, for them to be at the forefront of doing the research. Because we realize that in normal times where we need research, when we go ourselves in communities, there are certain things that the girls will not share with you, but they can share with peers and colleagues. So we empower the girls and women to take lead in conducting the research. Thank you so much. The other approach that we use is art and theatre. Here we recognize the Islamic values, so we do what we call the silent theatre. We don't engage in music and all those other things, but we do silent theatre, where we empower women and girls to do some of those skits that share the challenges they experience on a daily basis, but using what we call the silent theatre. They don't have to engage in maybe using music and all those other things. Then I wanted to share something brief for all the women that have attended the sister conference. I want to speak about self-care, but I'm going to rush through it because I feel that I've seen the agenda, but it's extremely important for us to take care of ourselves before we take care of anyone else. So when you speak about self-care, you speak about the soul, then the body, through doing exercises, doing adhkar, believing in Allah, knowing that Allah has the power to change each and everything. Then also the other aspect of self-care is for us as women and girls to celebrate all the small wins that we get in life. Most of us do not live in the moment, but Islam itself encourages us to live in the moment. Usually, some of us will even go out being happy and say, when I get married, when I have kids, when I do this, what if you don't do those things? Because all of us don't know when we're going to go back to Allah. So I encourage all the girls here, always live in the moment. Let's take care of ourselves. Let's see the value in ourselves before other people see any value in us. Then the other aspect of self-care is for us to practice gratitude, to always thank Allah. Even in Islam, you are not allowed to always see the people that are up there and you say, man, are those people. You always have to see the people that are beneath you. That is the only way of seeing that Allah has blessed you immensely. That is also an aspect under self-care. Then we have social networks already. No one in life can never live by themselves. That is very possible. We value each and every person in our lives, and we can only attain that by building lasting relationships and ensuring that we build from ground relationships that are going to support us when we are challenged. Finally, I would like to encourage the ladies here that we as women have a tendency of feeling sorry for ourselves all the time. Whenever you don't do something, you fail a paper, you feel sorry for yourself. You say, because of this, I can't go to the lecture, it's raining. For me, I have some of the things that I follow. If I'm working with you and you come late and it has rained, they will not excuse you. Because I'll tell you, grab a shovel and cover yourself. Because women have a habit of feeling sorry for themselves and no one is coming to save you. You can only save yourself, and Allah has always said that He can only change the circumstance of a human being only if they change themselves. Meaning it all starts with you and it ends with you. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, please, the energy is very low. I don't know what's happening. Do we eat breakfast?
Maybe they are hungry, but we are preparing breakfast right now.
I think that's enough for us to get more energy at this point. I know the glucose is very low. Once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Nabanja Shakara. I'm a fourth year medical student doing medicine and surgery at IUKC. And I am the Guild Lady Vice President of the
28th Youth Cabinet.
Okay, and at the same time, I'm the Finance Secretary, Musao. I hope I have representatives from Musao here and representatives from Limao. I take that opportunity to welcome you all at this occasion. So, as the executive leader of female students in this university, it's a great honor that I have to stand before you. I'm so honored to have this chance to welcome each one of you to this special occasion that we organize specifically for the mothers of tomorrow of our generation. So it's my pleasure to welcome you all to our first edition of the Sisters Conference. And on that point, allow me acknowledge the organizers of this wonderful occasion, starting with the university, our IUI University, the administrators. They are not yet here, but we appreciate them. I'll also thank the Guild leadership for thinking of its fellow students, because we are here. They are here to serve you. So wherever they bring out initiatives to bring back to you, they need to be thanked and also acknowledge them. On that special note, I would really thank the Daawa ministry that has been the spearhead of this project, of the event that we're having today. So all the Daawa ministers, Daawa representatives here in the room, you're highly welcome. Please take my special thanks to the patron of the ministry. So, on that point, this conference basically is here as a testament to the incredible achievements and growth that we have witnessed among we as women in the university and the community as well. So each one of us here has embarked on a unique journey, I'm quite sure. And when you take a look at experiences, the challenges you have gone through your life, the self-discovery, it is those experiences that you have gone through that have shaped us, mold us into the strong, resilient, and empowered women who we are today. So today, as we come together to honor and acknowledge the path, to inspire one another and continue pushing boundaries and reaching for greatness as women, as we reflect upon our individual journey, I know each one of us has had a journey that, however small it has been, you really have a story to tell in your life as a lady. So as we reflect on those individual journeys that we have had, we can realize that they have not been solitary our power. There has been a lot. There has been it has been a group of people. It has been not only you to reach where you are. You have had friends, you've had family, you've had the community in this. You've had people who have motivated you. You've had role models that have impacted your journey. And we believe it's the same way that we have to go in life. We do not have to think that we can manage, we can run anything on our own. And it is because we already need a shoulder to cry on. So it is on that point that we decided to organize such events for our fellow students, maybe to remind them of how life can be, to remind them on how to overcome challenges, to hear other people give stories that are realistic and not movies. These stories could be directly reflecting our lives or a little bit in a different direction.
but everyone in your life, you have something to copy from a successful woman's story. That's why we had to invite guests who are really notable, who have achieved something, and we know that when we sit and listen to them, we won't be the same. So I hope everyone in the room at least has a notebook, has a pen, somewhere at least you could write a word or two that can impact on your life journey. So, as I said, our sisters have played a pivotal role in our growth by providing encouragement, guidance, a shoulder to rely on. So together, we have created a community that can uplift us and empower us as the female students, all the mothers of the nation. Today's theme says embracing our journey. When we say embracing our journey, this encapsulates the essence of our experiences in life. It reminds us to embrace every step that we take, the obstacles that we overcome, and the success that we have managed to achieve so far. Because everyone here has something they have achieved. At least you've achieved academics. You have achieved going through high school, and now you are at the university. We need to celebrate that. So our journey, I not only remains to be perfect, but we expect that everyone in their life will have challenges. This is a fact of life. However planned you are, you have challenges of life. That's why we need such gatherings. That could be psychological, it could be physical, it could be financial, a lot of challenges. I believe by the point we live here, we shall have learned something. So, on the way, as we embrace in our journey, we embrace the power of resilience. As ladies, God empowered us already before we even come out to empower ourselves. He empowered us, He gave us the ability to multitask. He gave us the opportunity, the ability to be the nurturers of the nation. Like He empowered us in every aspect that another person, that we couldn't even figure out. So it is still on this point that we come to embrace the power of resilience. We expect as we women, when we are out there, challenges are very many, but all we need is resilience. Let us break down. We know there are points where we're going to break down, but who is the winner at the end of it all? It's not the one who has not been affected, but it's the one who has managed to stand after a challenge. So that is the woman we are looking at this point. Challenges are there, you break down, but are you really able to stand at the end of it all? We shall have that answer, every one of us, by the end of this session. So as we are embracing the power of resilience, we are acknowledging the setbacks we have had in life, and also realizing that the failure that we have had in life is not a point to fail, but it's just an encouragement for us to keep on pushing. So let's remember that our journey is not defined by the destination, but rather it is defined by the lessons that we learn while we are moving it. So what matters most when I come to communicate to maybe to my juniors, what I will explain to them or what I will take them through is my journey and the lessons I learned. It's not where I've reached, it's already the lessons you learn that matter, because it's what you're going to move with for the rest of your life. So today, we celebrate the diversity, the uniqueness we have had in our journey. We celebrate the women who have succeeded and paved the way for us, because we know centuries before, it was not as the way it is right now that women could stand and big offices, but there are those women who took that initiative. Wherever they are, some of them are no longer alive, but we have to celebrate them. Wherever we gather our sisters, we have to celebrate the rest who paved the way for us. So still on this occasion, we're here in the same spirit of celebrating the women who paved the way for us as the young generation. Women who will follow in our footsteps also are what we celebrated and planned for. Together we stand when it is a testament to empower women, incredible impacts that we have had. So, our fellow women in this room today, I know some of you are not sure whether you are a girl or you're a woman. That question always runs in our minds. We don't know where we fall. But I believe at the end of this conference, you'll be able to know where you belong, whether you are a girl or now you're a woman, through the sessions that you're going to be having with our guests that we invited today for you. This is where we're going to be able to know our inner person, understand yourself, and then know where we're heading. So as I commence this conference, let us embrace the wisdom, inspiration that will be shared by our presenters and also among us. We know we have strong women seated behind there, and if given a chance, they have a lot of wisdom and inspirations to pass on to us. So let us embrace that. Let us open our hearts. Let us open our minds. And let us be open to the new perspectives that we are going to learn today. I believe everyone here should be ready to learn, unlearn, relearn from today's session. Something new wrong, you're going to unlearn it. You're going to learn something new. So most importantly, as women, let us continue to uplift and empower ourselves in the community, because we understand ourselves better. It will be a disservice when you see your sister going in the wrong direction and you can't uplift them. When you see them breaking down and you can't provide a shoulder for them to rely on. As the Lady Vice President of the Kampla campus, my office is always welcome to each one of you. Whichever challenges you're facing, feel free. I'm a very open person. I'm a very free person. I'm a medic. So at the same time, I can be a counselor to you. Even if it needs more than what I can provide, we can always find a way of helping a sister who is facing challenges out there. When I talk about challenges, this does not come to everyone. Like, everyone has something specifically. Someone could have it when it comes to academics, as like, I'm failing to know, I'm failing to know how I can go through university life. The other can be financial. I'm failing to raise tuition. Our offices are always open because we are the student leaders. We are here to serve you. We are students to understand you better. So please use our offices more often. Let us walk this journey together. Let me not find a sister going through hard times or lacking what we need. I have something I can share or someone I can call to help them. So it is of this spirit of sisterhood that I encourage all the women in this room to love each other, uplift each other, always support and celebrate the little success you get. We may not be there at the time when we are achieving big things, because we don't know what Allah has planned for us, but whatever small you have achieved, take the initiative of celebrating. Celebrate your sisters as well. I may not, at that point, I may not use more time because we already timed back. Allow me in with that.
Embracing your journey. Embracing your journey. Rewards with great potential. If I may ask, from the first stanza of the Women's Anthem, who can give me the first sentence? Let that remain as a task to you. Perhaps the first stanza. If anyone can give us the first stanza, stand yourself a chance to get some gift, something more. You know it? Yes, please. Madam Musi, will you pass a mic to somebody there?
Mothers, daughters, all women everywhere stand up and embrace our roles today.
son and a brother. So when I listen to that anthem, the first stanza specifically, it holds a lot of strength and power for the women. Just like it says, mothers, daughters, all women everywhere, stand up and embrace your role today. And I'm so happy that the theme of the discussion, all the topics that are going to be discussed today is going to be on the basis of that, embracing your journey as a female, as a woman, naturally feminine, strong, a warrior, I'm told, by many. I would like to thank all of you that have enabled to turn up today, honoring the invitation sent to you. We have sisters from Chambogo, we have sisters all the way from Bali, we have sisters from People's Campus, Kabuja, and all from Kampla campus. I thank all of you for endeavoring to turn up and be here today. I'm not going to say much, apart from encouraging all the sisters that are present here to keep in line with your values as a woman. They say everyone is different in their own way, so all women are different in their own way. But what determines your value is how you carry yourself. Are you ready to compromise your values for just small desires that will end in a day? Are you going to compromise your values for petty things? For example, the iPhone 15 was released of recent. Are you going to compromise your values for an iPhone 15? The answer remains to you as a person. It's just a rhetorical question to you personally. So all I can advise is that as the ladies we are, let's stop. There's this stereotype. Men are what? Spoons, forks, trash, and everything. By the end of the day, it comes back to you as a sister, as a lady, because you accept them. And from what I hear, women are clever than men, so I wonder how they end up becoming trash and all that. There are very many topics that have been put in line and have been organized in accordance to what we felt, or what the organizers felt would be best for our sisters here. And being that I'm not one of the moderators or one of the people who are going to give you lectures, I don't want to go deep into those topics. But I wish you all the best of luck. I hope you will be noting. I hope that you will be able to get back to you. At least it will change your perspective on certain aspects of your life by the time you end the session here today. Sister, I didn't get your name.
Yes.
Your name, please.
I'm Adilong Esther Lucy.
Adilong Esther Lucy.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that. And as I move on, please just follow slowly and take a little. Other than that, thank you so much for the opportunity given to me to speak to you sisters. It's a sisters event, but you guys have accepted me, a brother, to come here and engage. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And also you're going to forgive me a little bit.
My mom thought I would be a teacher because I used to teach everything, the rooms, the chairs, everything. So she thought I would be a teacher. But here I am, go to campus, I did social work and social administration. So 2007 after campus, I graduated in 2006. So after campus, I was at my mom's shop. I see an advert in the Monitor newspaper, Africa Broadcasting Uganda Limited, looking for different categories of workers. So mom, you're not sitting I see about work. So I was like, let me apply for sales. So I applied for sales. I get called, I sit on the panel. I'd never done anything like sales, apart from, I was my mom's, I used to run my mom's errand. So I thought selling would be easy. So thank God I got recruited and we were trained for 3 months. So that's when I got to know that Africa Broadcasting is going to be a TV station, NTV. So we're trained in different departments, production, programming, news. That's when I was discovered that I can do news. So a person who went in as a salesperson, I crossed to the newsroom department. And from 2007, I never looked back. That's when I entered the Mahuli Day. I got trained on the job. Of course, I went for certificates to upgrade, to add on my papers. So what am I trying to say? That when you're passionate about something and positive, you can achieve. So on top of that, I kept on adding stuff like after being in the news, after just about 10 years now. So a prominent news person got a challenge. They got bedridden, they were turned over, so they were sent and I felt touched. And this is the person I was looking up to, the late Vale Francis. He had done his thing. So you would think I not sent it. By the moment, so when they started fundraising for his medication, that's when we got to know at China, which was like, okay, this is how things are. Here I am in someone's company. Anytime I'm shown the exit door, I need to do something. So I started my side hustle. What was that? Boutique. Selling clothes, yeah, but boutique, it failed. I did the gift shop, it also failed. First, because I didn't have time for it, I was an 8 to 5, actually 8 to 8, because I used to go to office at 8 and leave at 8 after the news. So I wasn't there to manage to see how it runs. It is already different. But I've always had a passion for many. So I have my auntie who has done this for now, I think 25 years in the catering business. I used to give him good jobs, saying commission. So I was like, nice, I can do this. So that's when I started Hatma's Kitchen. With the view at the back of my mind, should I be shown the exit door, or should I grow old in a makeup touch and TV? I have something to fall back. So I started Hatma's Kitchen in 2017 in Bengal, but things still didn't work out. The city, you are still a permanent worker, and you know you don't supervise, that kind of thing. So I closed it. Then Sigalanga outside Nicole. That's what I've been doing. Not until recently when I opened up the kitchen in Sekuku. Now that I have some time, because where I am, I'm on 2 contracts. I work 8 days in a month, and the rest of the days I am free to do my other things. So you name it out. Mentorship. Come and talk to our girls, come and talk to our women, you know, that kind of thing. We have seen a trading here, you can get a so I was like, okay, if I define this, I can do it. I went and did that course of mentorship with Hilda Bahati. I don't know if you know her. She has a mentoring school. I graduated last year. So there's a passion, you know, and positivity that you can do something. So when they know that, you know what? Push forward and go for it. So I went for that. That's how I started mentoring. That's how I started talking to groups of women and girls. That is why I'm here.
Wow.
MCing, there's an association that I belong to, UMCI, it's the Uganda Muslim Women Civilization Initiative. We hold events every year. So to be able to meeting, because and I'm like, I can do it because I can speak. So that's how I started. I went for the FCE course. I graduated this year in March. So that's how I've kept growing and adding on my CV and adding on my profession. So there's no limit whatsoever. The sky should be just the beginning. Thank you. Any other question?
The next question. Any other question? Oh, we have forgotten. Now we are thinking about breakfast. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yamuka Ogemeo. I'm doing Bachelor of Social Work at Makerere University. So what I want to ask you is, if you face a challenge or any problem in your life, how do you handle it? How do you deal with it and come through that problem How do you overcome it?
Thank you, Nalukwago. My mom is also called Nalukwago. Thank you, mother. So if you're faced with a challenge, how do you overcome it? How do you come out of it? How do you? We are human. We all face challenges. I'll speak for people who are in the public limelight, especially TV presenters. You'll see me smile from Monday to Friday, putting on a jolly face. But how do you go through a challenge? First, Allah. You know, there is a way you recite dua, yeah? So seek Allah's guidance, seek Allah's intervention. Number one, Natona Jawa Hatima, Allah Yosuka, Kwanga Yasinga Yona, right? Then the other thing is we all need to have mentors. We all need to have someone that you can go and talk to. Now work against how to go through something. You can't be independent. So we all need to have a mentor that you can go and talk to and pour our hearts out. They say a problem shared is a problem solved. So just have a mentor, have someone to talk to, and if you get someone who is professionally trained. If you have a mother, let them be your friends. We are about 18 years, but those women, over to sing up at our so you know, what is it called? They've gone through this. You are not the first person to go through that challenge. Someone has gone through it. So talk to your mother, talk to your aunties, talk to your, have someone to talk to. Have a trusted friend. Have a board. How many of us have a personal board? Or if you know even what a personal board is. Yeah? People should have a personal board, each one. At least 3 people that you are accountable to. I tell you, you are your young sister. We need to have boards. You know why businesses thrive and they stay afloat? They have boards. Those bosses have, the boss of IUIU has a board that he or she is accountable to. Whatever in a decision, they cannot do an independent decision. So in life, we also need people that we are accountable to. I mean, I'm going to check in that line. That kind of thing. So we all go through challenges, but you need to have someone you can talk to. She doesn't have to necessarily be your friend, but someone you can approach. I am here if you want to go in a yeah, we are always there. We come 20 years since our program, we sit and talk and chat. No told. So even myself, I have my personal board. I have people who check me. There is one time I made a comment on my TikTok page. Someone came and attacked me. I attacked back. But someone came my inbox and said, DJ, you get it? So we need to have people that check us. We need to have people that we talk to and we share. That's why people are dying of depression and stress. You know, because I know that there might be trust issues, but trust me, so let's have people that we can talk to, people that we can trust. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The third question. Okay. The fact that we are embracing self-esteem and empowerment, I request when we are asking our questions to please stand up.
they'll handpick. So I encourage you, don't stop, please pursue it. Finish your course, social sciences. Don't be ashamed about it, but then also pursue what you feel like you want. Because I know when you have passion for something, which is somebody trained in mass communication class, I look at them and I'm like, somebody teaching mass communication, but because I loved it, I trained myself, and mashallah, I'm not disappointed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In addition to that, I have my sister. She's doing social science at Makerere University in higher three. But me, I'm doing law. She has told me that they have each and every course unit to different faculties. Exactly. Yes. I hear human rights.
Yeah.
Not human rights.
Not like they.
I hear
they have
human
studies
resource
and law.
management.
Yes.
Exactly. Good thing. She's always coming to me about law. Now I feel like not in the wrong place. You are going to make it. Inshallah.
Next
question.
No other one here. They'll ask you for money for making a story out of their society. They'll give you all sorts of insults. You know, that kind of thing. But you know what? Because you are a trained person, you just keep your smile, talk to them well, and things move. They reject you, you insist they reject you, leave. Yeah? So, people will always be difficult, but you'll find those who are, cooperative and they will let you work. In my line of catering, most times people underlook you. That kind of thing, they will underlook you. Now, I'm sorry to say that they will underlook you because I have sons or they will not know your maybe your profile, your background or something like that. So they should try it on, especially difficult. But you know what? You just have to be calm and let's move on in life. And it comes back to what someone asked about how do we overcome challenges. We are, alhamdulillah, we are trained to keep a smile on our faces even when you're hurting. There's a time I lost my cousin sister, my very close cousin sister. She died in an accident, in a car accident one morning, and in the evening I had to do news. But I was hurting on the inside. I had even cried the entire day. But in the evening, I had to put my smile and pretend that it was like nothing was happening at home. Just recently, in 2020, August, when my daughter fell sick, really sick. Most people never knew, not until she passed on. That's when they knew that she had been sick for a month. But I kept working, I kept the smile, I kept, it's kind of, there's a way you develop a tough skill because you have to let life go on. But yes, we deal with all sorts of people, but the training we get is treat everyone with the softest of the hearts you can. Yeah, we are human. They also had, I felt embarrassed. I was like, okay, second that. You didn't have adult, but you just give your hammer and smile, and life moves on. Yeah,
Thank you.
and then you cannot
Allow me to recognize our third guest speaker. You most welcome. And breakfast is still ongoing. Please be patient. Someone sent a question that goes, how do you survive in the media industry as a Muslim woman without compromising your values?
It's very simple. The answer is in the last what? Dropping your values. Yeah? I know it's been a journey. I think I'm among the first, if not the very first. Okay, there was Sharifa back and then I came in. I am proud to say that I am among the first female Muslim journalists to keep the veil on.
Yeah? Sharifa Baka did it first, and then I came in second. We used to do it during Ramadan, and then after Ramadan, we drop it and go back to, unveiling, because that was the house style. But in 2018, I told myself, I am not dropping the veil no matter what. It was a hassle right away. It was, emails kept, exchanging. It's not Ramadan, what? So I told my boss, my supervisor, I am not Muslim only in Ramadan. I am Muslim all round. Yeah. So if I am not, it's okay. I can leave the main presentation and stay in the back, but I'm not dropping my veil. Tuyomba with my director, directing every time it will be my turn, you get out of studio, not directly because I had the veil. Of course, I had some colleagues who were like, that kind of thing, all those things. But you stay strong and you stick to your values. At the end of the day, it's not about me, it's about Allah. Yeah? So, but then I was like, right, it's not my father's company, it's not my work. So I was like, let me take a break. So I resigned. That was towards the end of 2018. I resigned in December. Then stepping up or down for like 6 months. Then I get a call. And who was on the call? King Carissa calling me. Can you come and join NPS? And I was like, yeah. But I have my values that we need to follow. So we had a chat, we made an appointment to go to church, we have a what? This was Kakaya. So my Kakaya campaign. And I was like, no, it's okay, it's fine. And number 2, see and feel it. When you handpicked, you set your standards, your working standards. Because I have my business. Over the weekend, see it out. It's okay, give you 4 days in a week. Cause it's fine. So that is how. Oh, my Allah, yeah? Name your food. What salary would you want? I double what I was getting at TV. So I check it. So I left the other place because the director had made my life hard. Or you see them directing what I jam on Kakaya, and she should have that kind of thing. I went to a place where I put on my veil. I dictated the terms of employment. I worked 4 days in a week, and those are 8 days in a month. I gave them the salary I was getting the other side. So I'll tell you as a man, I deserve to say. So keep your values. I know you're going to get out of campus or get out of the office. They'll make life hard for you because Uganda is not an Islamic country. Yeah? They are going to make your life hard. Time kusala, babla mshina ukusala, you get what you room our way will say home some people that was you get that kind of thing. Do not drop your veil, do not drop your Islamic values because of what you won't get time. So we should stick to our values because in the end we win and we become victor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. In the meantime, allow me to recognize once again our Dean of Students. You're most welcome. Kampla. We're taking the last question for the meantime that goes. The question goes, tell us about friends and who you surround yourself with, because some of us are introverts and associating with people, introverts and associating with the people and maintaining friendships is hard. I don't know if this is a question or what.
Friends. How many? We know WhatsApp groups like this. How many of you have like more than 10 WhatsApp groups? Who's that? No, what they add to your life? Social capital. I hear you, social capital. I hear you. But now, let me just show you. I have like 5 WhatsApp groups. I can read for you. 1, ladies event again, because we do what? We invest, we talk business. 2, girl for girls empower to grow. What do I gain from there? I grow, like, being in WhatsApp groups or be with a group of friends that add to your personal development and growth. I get added in WhatsApp groups of someone's bridal shower, what baby shower. Those ones I completely delete. Because we're going to come later and just manual go here. I take a part, you know, that kind of thing. Why? How? So, be with a group of friends or join WhatsApp groups or whether you have saving a whether you have so many better, whether you call a business a better, but a young girl is money cares or issues like battle, what, is go back. You know that kind of thing. So, personal development and growth, so those are the kinds of friends you should associate yourself with. What I'm from primary, yayogera tebikwatagana na kweyongerako ku add value in yourself kwegayirira obusuule oba bulabe bulabi bino hi join friends that are going to add on to your personal growth and development. I tell they should okay, they can be classmates or coursements or what, but look for people who are above your what, your kind of level, because those ones are going to inspire you to do better. They are going to inspire you to grow and develop. Never watch out with the what they are going to get. Let's mind with the what you know, that kind of thing. No. So, an introvert is someone who is not. Myself, I'm an ambivert. I am both introvert and extrovert. That's the extrovert part of me. Then the other time, meditations you know, that kind of thing. That is an introvert part of me. So I'm an ambivert. So an introvert is totally new. You know, that kind of thing. There's that type of person. But what your friends, who do you interact with? Their kind of thinking, and what is the value or picking up positivity over negativity. It's not about having so many friends. It is okay, can be you know you two friends or one. So be it. Than having 100 friends that will not be thinking at the same time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the interest.
When you're Muslim, these days we say Muslim because of the gender sensitivity that is happening. But you should understand that in Sharia, when they say Muslim, you're part. So you don't need to say like otherwise you might find a challenge implementing the Islamic laws in the Quran. So I think we should learn to adopt the language that Allah Ta'ala used while addressing humanity, not the language that is being pushed at this time. The language that causes you to be very sensitive. Allah talks to humanity, and because He created humanity, He had the best approach. He knows us better. There need not to be any group that forces you or pressurizes you to adopt a certain kind of language, whether direct or indirect. First of all, I was asked to talk about Islamic ethics and etiquette, which is quite interesting, especially at this time. But when Mr. Hatman was talking, I felt compelled, though I'm fighting the comparison, but I felt compelled to change my speech because I understand the position of a Muslim in Uganda is quite compromised, it's quite confusing. And I'm an advocate on the side of the Sheikh and the scholars to rethink and give the Muslim enough time, because the Muslim lady has changed and the message has not changed. So the religious institutions are not transforming to understand the new woman, the modern woman, which has definitely led our sisters into a lot of what? Trouble. A sister who is a lawyer, a sister who is a journalist, doesn't know how to be married. She doesn't know how to be that. And yet, the society still emphasizes that she should get what? Married. She doesn't know how to be a mother. You are pregnant, you work, you have a husband, there is a home, you have to travel and commute every day. It is a very confused position. We expect you to go, and achieve a lot like Sister Hatima was encouraging you. And that without compromising your marriage. No one has that money in Uganda. So I think if I were to be given a choice to talk about something in this conference, after observing and living here and being here for some minutes, I would have sought to address the position of what? A Muslim woman in Uganda that is transforming, and her position is so confused because the people campaigning and championing the Muslim rights are doing that based on what? The secular ideology that define a woman, and that confuses them more. Of course, the topic I was given is partly going to address that. Going back to our topic, I hope I will be able to summarize and also take some questions I actually liked her approach. Ethics, etiquettes, is that, I don't know, this language is, I don't know, very old. It has been changing. Ethos, and ethics, what do these terms mean? Because one of the things that confuses us in Africa is that we don't have access to such terminologies in our language. Of course, we feel proud of speaking in English, but I need to apologize to you. When I speak English, I feel like I'm an African. I don't feel I'm speaking from my heart. So I'm going to try to be a very good character. Hopefully, I will make you cry because the movie is in English. Because that is what characters do. Ethics, precisely putting it, scholars use it to describe a branch that is a branch of philosophy and knowledge that is that deals with moral principles. So we're talking about moral principles. Etiquette is not very easy to understand etiquettes away from ethics, but etiquettes are usually the social code on how to exercise morality. So it is ethical for you not to take someone's phone, right? When you find it here, you look for someone and you give it back. That is ethical of you. Now, the words you use when you are giving back that phone also matter, right? I mean, you have given back the phone, but what is happening here? You are using a language that is very well. Now, these things matter. Now, when we say Islamic ethics, and that is the approach we're using in these centuries, Islamic, and in Arabic, Islamic, Islamic studies, Islamic banking. We keep adding that Islamic. It's not an adjective. You have English students here. What is that for? We keep adding that to refer that ethics and the etiquette we're talking about are those that conform to our values and our religious ideology. as Muslims, because we have a system that guides us. We cannot claim to be morally upright when we are not following or in alignment with our faith. And of course, I will talk about that shortly. Most of us in Uganda, but because we're talking about the Muslim, find a challenge. Most of our ideologies are not aligned with our faith. So you will find us seeing the Shiba battle, shouting, and then we have to wake up lying to Sahib. So we are here and we are there. We tell you to be empowered and empowerment, but down there you feel there is something not conforming to your religious values, and sheikhs also preach those values in a way that might not be practical. So we say Islamic to remind ourselves that Islam has to come first, and we are going to draw our values from Islam. Of course, taking from other cultures that which is beneficial. Right? Now, in Islam, before I proceed, the Islamic studies or the Sharia is divided and categorized into three categories. We have the Sharia of the human interactions, or the Sharia of your activities, transactions, and your relationship with Allah, your relationship with what? With people. That is what they call fiqh. Now we have another category which is called Aqidah, and you hear that term a lot. Aqidah, Aqidah, of course. I don't know what that Aqidah means then. But there is Aqidah. Things to do with your faith and matters, explanations of the metaphysics and what happens beyond physics. That is mainly Aqidah. We believe in the day of judgment, we believe in what happens in the Kampla, we believe in the prophets, the books. That is Aqidah. So it's a set of laws and the science in Islam that tells you about that. The other category, which is not very popular in Uganda, and hence the crisis of immorality and the discussions of morality in Islam had, is the Suru. The focus, hear me at the back. I'll try to. What about now? Are we good? Amalaikum. Can you hear me? Now there is a third category which is very important, and we do not teach it a lot in Uganda. We don't focus on it, which is a suluk, al-akhlaq, morality, and conduct. It is a whole field, and a whole discipline in Islamic faith. And of course, when we talk about ethics and etiquette, this is the branch the Sharia branch we are referring to. So it is a whole branch. It has its scholars, it has its books, people specialize in it. Right? So this is not something small. And I wish to make my first invitation now. I invite all of you to study this branch, because it helps a lot. Scholars say that when you study it, you're just a lawyer. Lawyers don't get up. But you also understand that it's not in law, especially secular. Now this is what makes you a sheikh. What you're seeing among our scholars in Uganda is partly because we have not given whatever you see in Uganda is partly because most of us, the preachers, have not given this particular branch enough time. So we know the laws, but the laws are empty, are just laws. Now, the spiritual dimension of law is the suluk. Why would someone trust you to teach their daughter Quran. A teenager. You're teaching Quran, right? And you're teaching a teenager, someone's teenager, and you're home alone. But the father is comfortable, inshallah, Sheikh will manage, control himself. And he will not make any funny attempts. That is the solution. Law alone and law enforcement is not enough to keep peace. We need religion in people's hearts to understand that even when the police has not arrested you, or you have a very good lawyer that can make any case disappear, or win against anyone, Allah Ta'ala still sees. Now that is the spiritual dimension of what? Of law, and we need to focus on it. Why is this discussion important and necessary at this time? Number one, there is a competition for dominance between different ideologies. I think most of us don't realize how many ideologies are competition to dominate our behavior. Everyone wants you to believe something so you can behave the way that you believe. We have many ideologies. Some of them we ingest without understanding, without knowing. The movies that you watch, the soaps, the Bahidi are selling an ideology. The Korea have the ideology. The movies, Western movies and all that, Hollywood is very busy. Now, the lecturers are selling ideologies. Now the sheikhs are also selling what? Ideologies and their understanding of Islam. So, there is something very difficult here. What should you follow? Under what influence are you actually responding to life? What ideology is dominating you? Now we need such discussions, especially from the Islamic point of view, to guide us. Point number two, why we need this discussion, and I don't hope that it will stop here. We are undergoing, most of us, Muslims, male and female, but we focus on female, cognitive dissonance, where we are having, most of us are living under a state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs and attitudes. Today you wake up a very good Muslim, tomorrow you want to go and become a model, then there is a hijab that the sheikhs preach, and then there is fashion and design. You do not know how to think. But again it is, sheikhs are like, it's not even Islamic, and then you're the modern woman, we are everywhere. And remember, these are things that we do that say a lot about our ethics and etiquettes and morality. So there is that issue. We need to have conversations that will help us align, know and understand what should be done and when. Exactly. I need to make another invitation here. I think Muslims in Uganda have not done well in the art and fashion and whatever industry. I think as Muslims, we should take interest in that. Because if you cannot think about that, then you are abandoning the whole level, daraja of ihsan. You need to also be beautiful and think beauty, because in Allah tayyib la yaqbal illa tayyib. Now, another reason as why we need this conversation right now, we have a mother figure crisis. Most of us appreciate our mothers, but we don't want to be like them. Now, we don't even believe we can be like our mothers. They are heroes, but so we want to get married, we want to be mothers, but not like our mothers, even though we worship our mothers. Now, what is left for you? Of what kind of mother? Are you going to be discovering that mother? Because as you discover, the child is also growing. And the child is absorbing everything you're doing. So you want your first two children, the firstborn and the secondborn, to be a sacrifice, so you can focus more after discovering the right model on the third and fourth born. Because why I'm bringing this mother figure issue is because all in all, you have to be a mother, you have to nurture the next generation. It doesn't matter what modernity has done, the technological advancements, you have a role, first of all, to pick and select what kind of genes you want to see the next generation. You want to be able to look at a man and understand, especially their behavior, their whatever, and give the next generation a chance to have the best. You have that role as women. Now, you do that to be able to nurture the next generation. Right now, we don't even know, as mothers, don't even know what language to use at home with your children. Sit down, get out. I mean, we are everywhere. Maybe the fourth reason as to why we need to discuss this, we are all uncertain. Because when we talk about ethics, there is the term values somewhere. Values are things you believe to be true, are your truths. They don't need to be truths for everyone, but they should be strong enough to motivate and determine the direction you want to take, morally. So we are no longer certain. Are we taking the African traditional cultural values? Because then we have the Islamic values, and why it is becoming a problem is because none of you is an expert in the African traditional values, right? Anymore. At least school has made sure that that doesn't happen. Right? How often have you visited your grandmother and listened to her and at least learned a few things about the African woman? So the African woman is becoming foggy. The picture is not clear anymore. Now, we want to tell you that be a Muslim woman. How much of Islam do you know to be that? How many of you are sheikhs? How many of you have really extensively read Islam and lived an Islamic society when we are a minority in Uganda? So how can you live a Muslim woman values, Muslim values, and abandon the cultural values? You don't know the culture, you don't know the value, the Islam enough to determine how you should behave. So there is a lot of conflict, especially in how a woman should behave. However, the sensitivity has not reduced. We shall tell you that as a Muslim in Uganda, the pressure is still on. However, the description, there is no clarity, especially to you who obtain information through school, because you study ideology, you calculate mathematics. This is how most of you learn in this generation. Who has sat you down to teach you about where we draw the line? I'm making a case to implore all of you not to stop discussing this. These 40 minutes are not enough. One day is not enough. We are solving a very big challenge, and the invitation I make here is that let us all work together. Fortunately or unfortunately, Islam in Uganda has largely been studied by men because of historical circumstances and of course the roles that were in the community. We have to work with you. I will advise that you don't need to distance yourself from male scholars, because you have to make them understand the reality you're living, then force them to go back, review the Islamic principles and create a model that works here in Uganda. The expectations we have, the way we think you should behave is very extreme sometimes and just not practical. Most of you, because the Sheikh said, there is a model of a Muslim in Uganda that we can preach. I cannot just preach it. We have to interact until we design something and find a way we can go through this. So kindly, the Muslim and the organizers, please keep this conversation forward. Now, you expect me to talk about a lot of things, maybe ethics, and whatever. But I'll just talk about, I listed here 3, let me see, 4. And I call these 4 sources of ethics and ethics. And you can challenge the nomenclature. I call them sources, you can call them whatever you feel is better. It's not really a very big issue. I'll only talk about 2 things that I believe, in the interest of time, will probably push us ahead. First of all, the first source is Al-Haya. Al-Haya is what? And Sony. What is the Sony in English? Kindly come and investigate. Shyness, modesty, shyness. It is interesting that that is what happens in Africa. You know about a number of languages, but not a master study. And hence you can't be a thief. Because of our Catholic and then you end up confused and you confuse. Even at the UN General Assembly, Africans are not speaking their language. They are not speaking French. The Pan-African in me is very strong and active. I fear if I let him come out, he will terminate this talk. So we have Al-Haya and Sonia. The second thing is, or the second source is patience, sorry. The third source is truth. Our loyalty should be to look for truth. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. Then the fourth source is Al-Fitra. Fitra. The natural state of a human being. Now I'll just talk about briefly Haya and patience as sources of the Muslim ethics and what? Ethics and morality. Al-Haya, our scholars define Al-Haya as inqibadun wa khashya, the restlessness that comes to heart. The restlessness that comes to heart when people see something that is undesirable from you. Society has already determined how we should be. Islam has taught us. Now the feeling you have, the feeling you get, we call that is haya. Some of them call it khul, a sort of behavior. But I prefer going inqibadun wa khashyatun yajiduha al-insan fil qalb. It is that thing that you feel inside you when you have done something that is not desirable, and you feel it doesn't matter at what level. That is what al-haya, and that is what the Prophet ﷺ was talking about when he said al-haya'u min al-iman. That modesty or shyness is part of what? Iman. Actually, some scholars think it is the highest attribute of Iman. And so, because when you have haya for Allah wa ta'ala, you're going to be a very good worshiper. He gives you everything. He tests everyone, but not you. And you still disobey. So this is what made many scholars call it the highest value, the highest attribute of Iman. Some of them even took it a much bigger one, a much higher state of it is the high, like Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani saying it is the highest level of ihsan. And we know that when we are speaking about ihsan, we are speaking about the highest level of what? Islam or religion. Because we have Islam, we have Iman, we have Ihsan. Now Ihsan is the highest one. Where you worship Allah wa ta'ala as though you are actually seeing Him. That is the religion of beauty and appreciating the best that you can ever be and the best in humanity. That is the level at which the Quranic verses were revealed. You read them and you listen to them, they start impacting you. Ihsan, the best of what? The best of the world. So that is Ihsan. They were like Al-Haya, that shyness and modesty is something that is the highest level of that, which we call Ihsan. And that should really be something inspiring for all of us. We want to appear before Allah wa ta'ala that. Now, there are different types of scholars went ahead to differentiate between to put some kind of categories of haya. They say we have haya, al-haya al-ghariz, the natural and that innate. The innate haya, the innate modesty. Our scholars studied this concept and realized that everyone is born with modesty. That's it. Then there is al-haya'u al-kasbi or al-muqtasab. That which we learn. Religion teaches us, society teaches us. So we have two types of haya. One, you were created with it. The other, you have to learn. That is what makes it Iman. All of us have the ability to become Muslims and to believe in Allah. But now, the kind of Muslim you are, you determine. You have a role to play. Now, like any talent that you were born with, if unnatural, you have no coach, no one is attending to it, it will die. You have the haya, the modesty, by default. But if you grow up in a society which will not care about that, you will lose it, and hence you will move around naked. That which should be private becomes what? Accessible. And you don't even what? Feel it because you grew up somewhere and you did not nurture that which Allah Ta'ala gave you to keep you together. You can't be a good Muslim without haya. Now, if I'm to leave anything, I will leave haya behind me. Just take it and study it, you will realize that it will shape your behavior, the way you act, the way you respond to your parents, the way you respond to the teachers, the way you talk about people. And you need to understand it is haya that will stop you from what? Backbiting, or ugambo, all those vices. So haya is something very important. However, I can't live without I can't leave that point without explaining this as well. Our scholars also talk about another category of haya. We have al-haya al-madmu, modesty. No, I will not say modesty because there is something that will be traditional for me to translate here. The haya, if you understood haya, the haya which is al-madmu, that which is not encouraged, which is condemned. And then we have haya al-mahmud, that which is what? Condoned. Right? Now, the condemned haya, scholars give us a few examples. I will give one or two. The kind of haya that stands between you and learning. Names, I'm shy, I will not ask. Islam condemns that. That is not the haya that the Prophet ﷺ was referring to. And yet, the hadith says that the Prophet ﷺ had a lot of haya, way more than a bikra, a young lady who is not married, that is in a house covered. So that is how much the Prophet had in haya. But did you see the Prophet shying around? He was on the front line, everywhere. So that should not stop you. Another type of haya, which is not acceptable in Islam, is the type of haya that stands between you and telling your friend about something you are doing which is wrong. You need to be able to teach, talk about what is right and wrong, and help advise friends. If you shy that is not Islamic at all, you can't say al-haya min al-iman when you're pursuing that kind of haya. And of course, the rest that we have talked about is what they call haya al-mahmud, the good haya, which is advisable and helps you become one, a good person. Lastly, about the sources is patience, and I can't emphasize patience enough. All the sources of immorality are very core. I usually make this statement that the fabric of all morality is patience. Everywhere they say this is immoral, this is moral, there is patience down there. Like we're going to every sort of what? Morality. And all the ibadah, your Islam, and the way you conduct yourself as a Muslim is dependent on the amount of patience that you have and exercise. Now, luckily enough, some of you might have a predisposition to patience. Naturally. But the good thing is that we all can grow more patience, just like you can grow more higher. Now, we can start working on patience. The reason as to why you're lying is because you think when you lie, you'll get some money. Another person will just say, be patient and not lie. So patience is at the core. So if we have Ugandan Muslims full of haya and patience, we have a better person in Uganda. That person is very strategic. That person is a thinker, is a mother, and that person leads this nation. Without haya, you have nothing to inspire you to become a leader. What do you want to tell people? You want to nurture your whole community as a natural. So you need haya at the back of what? Your mind. Then you have patience because you have the mother role. And some people make a mistake to think that the father is only a father to what? To the child. The father and whatever constitutes fatherhood is that thing we have to extend to everyone. To the whole world. We have to protect and take care, provide, that's us. Now, as a mother, you have a role to nurture. You come with that at the job, you come with that at school, you keep extending that energy to the world until it becomes better because there is a mother here. Now, this is why if we are not careful with those two, of course, even truth and fitra are equally important. We don't have time to go into that. Even these ones we have summarized. Take two things. How much of haya do you have? How much evil in this world do you let go because of haya? And how much, and then you end up confused and you're confused. Even at the UN General Assembly, Africans are not speaking their language. Some are speaking French, the Pan-African in me is very strong and active. I fear if I let him come out, he will dominate this talk. So we have al-haya and Sonia. The second thing is, or the second source is patience, sorry. The third source is truth. Our loyalty should be to look for truth. Doesn't matter if you like it or not. Then the fourth source is al-fitra. Fitra. The natural state of a human being. Now I'll just talk about briefly haya and patience as sources of the Muslim ethics and what? Ethics and morality. Al-haya, our scholars define al-haya as intibahun wa khashya. The restlessness that comes to heart. The restlessness that comes to heart when people see something that is undesirable from you. Society has already determined how we should be. Islam has taught us. Now the feeling you have, the feeling you get, because called that is haya. Some of them call it khulq, a sort of behavior. But I prefer going inqibatun wa khashyatun yajiduha al-insan fil qalb. It is that thing that you feel inside you when you have done something that is not desirable, and you feel it. It doesn't matter at what level. That is what al-haya. And that is what the Prophet ﷺ was talking about when he said al-haya'u min al-iman. That modesty or shyness is part of what? Iman. Actually, some scholars think it is the highest attribute of Iman and so, because when you have haya for Allah wa ta'ala, you're going to be a very good worshiper. He gives you everything. He tests everyone but not you, and you still disobey. So that is why this is what made many scholars call it the highest attribute of Iman. Some of them even took it to a much bigger, a much higher state of it is the high, like Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani saying it is the highest level of ihsan. And we know when we are speaking about ihsan, we are speaking about the highest level of what? Islam or religion. Because we have Islam, we have Iman, we have ihsan. Now ihsan is the highest what? Where you worship Allah wa ta'ala as though you are actually seeing Him. That is the religion of beauty and appreciating the best that you can ever be and the best in humanity. That is the level at which the Quranic verses were revealed. You read them and you listen to them, they start impacting you. Ihsan, the best of what? The best of the world. So that is ihsan. They were like al-haya, that shyness and modesty is something that is the highest level of that, which we call ihsan. And that should really be something inspiring for all of us. We want to appear before Allah wa ta'ala that. Now, there are different types of scholars went ahead to differentiate between to put some kind of categories of haya. They say we have haya, al-haya al-ghariz, the natural and that innate. The innate haya, the innate modesty. Our scholars studied this concept and realized that everyone is born with modesty. That's it. Then there is al-haya'u al-kasbi aw al-muktasab. That which we learn. Religion teaches us, society teaches us. So we have two types of haya. One, you were created with it. The other, you have to learn. That is what makes it Iman. All of us have the ability to become Muslims and to believe in Allah. But now, the kind of Muslim you are, you determine. You have a role to play. Now, like any talent that you were born with, if unnatured, you have no coach. No one is attending to it. It will die. You have the haya, the modesty, by default. But if you grow up in a society which will not care about that, you will lose it, and hence you will move around naked. That which should be private becomes what? Accessible. And you don't even what? Feel it because you grew up somewhere and you did not nurture that which Allah gave you to keep you together. You can't be a good Muslim without haya. Now, if I'm to leave anything, I will leave haya behind the veil. Just take it and study it, you will realize that it will shape your behavior, the way you act, the way you respond to your parents, the way you respond to the teachers, the way you talk about people. And you need to understand it is haya that will stop you from what? Backbiting, orugambo, all those vices. So haya is something very what? Very important. However, I can't leave that point without explaining this as well. Our scholars also talk about another category of haya. We have al-haya al-madmu, modesty. No, I will not say modesty because there is something that will be traditional for me to translate here. The haya, if you understood haya, the haya which is al-madmu, that which is not encouraged, which is condemned. And then we have haya al-mahmud, that which is what? Condoned. Right? Now, the condemned haya, scholars give us a few examples. I will give one or two. The kind of haya that stands between you and learning. I'm shy, I won't ask. Islam condemns that. That is not the haya that the Prophet ﷺ was referring to. And yet, the hadith says that the Prophet ﷺ had a lot of haya, way more than a bikra, a young lady who is not married, that is in a house covered. So that is how much the Prophet had in haya. But did you see the Prophet shying around? He was on the front line, everywhere. So that should not stop you. Another type of haya which is not acceptable in Islam is the type of haya that stands between you and telling your friend about something you are doing which is wrong. You need to be able to teach, talk about what is right and wrong, and help advise friends. If you shy, that is not Islamic at all. You can't say al-haya min al-iman when you're pursuing that kind of haya. And of course, the rest that we have talked about is what they call haya al-mahmud, the good haya, which is advisable and helps you become one, a good person. Lastly, about the sources is patience, and I can't emphasize patience enough. All the sources of immorality are very core. I usually make this statement that the fabric of all morality is patience. Everywhere they say this is immoral, this is moral, there is patience down there. Like we will every sort of what? Morality. And all the ibadah, your Islam, and the way you conduct yourself as a Muslim is dependent on the amount of patience that you have and exercise. Now, luckily enough, some of you might have a predisposition to patience. Naturally. But the good thing is that we all can grow more patience, just like you can grow more higher. Now, we can start working on patience. The reason as to why you're lying is because you think when you lie, you'll get some money. Another person will just be patient and not lie. So patience is at the core. So if we have Ugandan Muslims full of haya and patience, we have a better person in Uganda. That person is very strategic. That person is a thinker, is a mother, and that person leads this nation. Without haya, you have nothing to inspire you to become a leader. What do you want to tell people? You want to nurture your whole community as a natural. So you need haya at the back of what? Your mind. Then you have patience because you have the mother-in-law. And some people make a mistake to think that the father is only a father to what? To the child. The father and whatever constitutes fatherhood is that thing we have to extend to everyone, to the whole world. We have to protect and take care, provide, that's us. Now, as a mother, you have a role to nurture. You come with that at the job, you come with that at school, you keep extending that energy to the world until it becomes better because there is a mother here. Now, this is why if we are not careful with those two, of course, even truth and fitra are equally important. We don't have time to go into that. Even these ones we have summarized. Take two things. How much of haya do you have? How much evil in this world do you let go because of haya? And how much does patience help you preserve haya? And these ones support each other. With haya there is patience. Patience there is haya. And that is how we become good Muslim. No one should lie to you that there is any other better way. Okay. Lastly, how to be ethically present. It is good that we have counselors here and we have mentors. I'm happy that Sister Hatma had to undergo such training. There is that. I myself am a coach, a life coach, certified. And that is another dimension most of you don't know about this field. But there is something called presence, being present with yourself, being present with whatever. So how do you be ethically present? How do you remind yourself all the time about this very important role for you to play in society? One, exercising gratitude with Allah Ta'ala. It is only ethical that you begin with Allah Ta'ala, who has bestowed everything, all the favors upon you. Right? That is one thing. You should constantly be among the shakirin. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Remembering the good that Allah Ta'ala has given you all the time will help all of us become ethical and be ethically present. The second thing will be reading the Quran to understand. If all of us read the Quran every day to understand, you're definitely going to remind yourself because the ethics are everywhere in the Quran. And because it is Allah's speech, it is the biggest, the highest speech and quality speech we have on earth. It will definitely help you grow more patience and develop higher and hence be ethically present. Number 3, we can talk about being a legacy-oriented or driven person. Unfortunately, the Muslim, and it's not just the Muslim in Uganda, all of us as Muslims lack a common goal and a vision. And I think we are more political than what? Visionary. So we better organize a darasa and celebrate how big it was and how the numbers were turned out. We never discuss objectives and the vision and the achievements and where we're going to go. That's us. So the Muslim leadership is purely political party. There is nothing wrong with any of the sects from the Islamic point of view, but there is everything right politically. And hence the morality and all of that. Because the more people you can gather in one place, the more you show off. I have people. And of course, I love when I see my brothers from this Tabligh community. Let me go political a little bit. From the Tabligh community, thinking that they don't do Mawlid. They dropped Mawlid, but because our society is very political, they engineered the megadas. So it is still about numbers and followers. So it is, okay, let me leave that. But being a legacy-oriented person will help you be ethically present. Because there is no legacy, good legacy, of course, without ethics, without morality. I don't think these ladies seated here would be here if they were not ethically and morally present. They would deserve no reason to be here. You would not have invited them. But because you think, why do you think they're going to tell you the truth? Because you trust their morality. You trust that they will tell you the truth. You give, by the way, when you invite us to speak, you give us a lot of power. Because when we tell you something, you can't unknow it. And it will impact your life either today or tomorrow. It doesn't matter. The time you spend discussing it, whether you refuse to accept it, it is impacting you. Now you do that because you trust in Shaykh. Inshallah, Shaykh will speak the truth. Morality is everywhere. Lastly, something that can help all of us be ethically present is trying so much to understand the spirit of both the culture and Sharia perspective on a woman, of a woman. We are spending a lot of time fighting what sheikhs say you should do and what culture. No, no, no. Understand the spirit of that law. You can engineer a new way if you understand the maqsad, the spirit. So before you say, I will give you get I will be like so, that kind of talk should not be from a Muslim. The question should be, why was this necessary? What were they trying to achieve? Is it practical now? What good comes out of dropping in? Is it just because the satisfaction in Timpang with them? I think we are very delusional in Uganda. Most of us, even it affects us even in Daawa. We think we are bigger than culture. We think we are bigger than religion. And we hope that one day we shall be able to beat culture and religion and become wanted exactly, my sister. What do you beat when you lose culture and what? So, when you study, make it your assignment to look for the spirit and the reason why a whole generation saw it fit to decree that as a way of life. Before you drop what you do not know. Because when you drop, you have to pick up something equally bigger and influential. So when you drop religion, you need something equally influential, and you're going to look at yourself and you can't find it. What happens is you start diving into the feminist theories and then what they say about a woman in the modern time. That is only going to bring you anxiety. It's not comfortable. Trying to reinvent the wheel, discovering who a woman is when Allah tells you a woman, your culture already what? Told you about it. Now, how a woman lives, that is something we can what? Discuss and negotiate. Because you want to leave something that your child will inherit. But you're destroying something without replacing it with anything, and you're proud moving around. So what? This is why nature will drop us. Nature will drop us. But maybe I'm joining. Or to stage. Or to TikTok. Popular. But because this system, the culture system, and the religious system is so big, we have to start telling by the way. After 20 years, you realize that, okay, you have not changed anyone. You have not done anything. You're welcome home if you want. If you don't want, we have faith. This is a very big system. So you cannot launch a war. This is my final point. It is very, I'm going to use this language. It is very nonsensical at all to find something that is bigger than you. Something that is not tangible. Values that have been created hundreds of years before you. Launching a mission to dismantle the Uganda culture. It's like hating. This is why tribalism, it is a waste of time. You're not going to change people's tribes. They are here to stay now. Because you need a lot of energy to dismantle such a big culture. It is going to destroy you because you need to call that, you need to invite and collect all that amount of energy from within you, only to lose but change. I would have liked to go on and on and on discussing this with you, but I'm also cognizant of the time, and I pray that Allah benefits us with the little we have shared. My aim was to start a discussion, not really teach and be like, all of us. Start a conversation. Ethics, morality is beyond. It is your mother. It is your sister role. It is your leadership role. Now you need to discuss it and understand how you can execute the highest form of morality in society as a mother, as a sister, as a student, as a leader. It is not a small problem, and it is not straightforward that Nasomi Tabu, mashallah, Majibawan, coming Hajj, El Muslim, like Ibn Jawzi. Yes, you will read that, and then you have another journey. How do we implement that? Give them the Muslim in Uganda and all the context that is around, what? The Muslim is living under. Thank you very much for listening. ربنا تقبل منا انك انت السميع العليم وتب علينا مولانا انك انت التواب الرحيم صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
You wait, you write your own story. Whatever thing. Abasoma law, she's here. Ama, boba baba matrimonial property. Abana baba mani. Tigabani gwani nani.
Abana baba matrimonial property ya bafungo.
Wamori.
Thank you for sharing. You see, behind your mothers. Tata, ashtumira kunyumba toliko. Ya mama onani. Kati baleke. Betunde bintu bya your role is to try as much as possible to improve your career, improve on yourself so that you can make your own money. Never let go of apology. Behind your parents, in fact, you're destroying the relationships with your parents. Yes. So work on your mental health issues. A bad relationship, please quit it. It's not the end of the day. I normally share with young girls like you that even at our age, about your mental health. To what extent is that relationship improving on your mental health? Yes. Maybe it is better that way than going on into a more serious relationship with that guy. You insist and prompt that guy into marriage. So better a broken relationship before serious marriage. And to us counselors, it is okay. It is okay for the relationship to break up. Where we so it has not started with you. However, I know how it hurts. We just give you therapies of how you are going to get through that situation when you have not broken your heart or whatever.
Okay? So it is befitting that I address you as my daughters, but I also address you as sisters in Islam. Dear my fellow sisters, I have been asked to talk about discipline. I was also told to talk about financial literacy, but I was brave enough to say that actually I'm not so much an expert to discuss about financial literacy. So I said I would just briefly talk about discipline. And for us really to set the stage, I'm going to talk about discipline in context of your body context of your growth agenda, you as a person. I'll end with the body because I know it's the most exciting. Discipline at this age of yours is very, very important. Why? Without discipline, you cannot be what God created you to be. I'll begin with something very simple. I know you are all students, right? Are there people who are finalists?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Just put up your hands. It just helps me to know. Okay. Thank you. Especially at this age, when you are on the route, you are actually on the road. You are still moving, you know, to be to your so-called success. But how many of you are disciplined enough to know even what they want to be in life? What do you want to be in life? What do you see yourself like 10 years from now? She sees herself as a successful nurse serving the community. You know there are so many nurses. There are so many. What will make you stand out? Can I request that you give that those drinks while not making noise? Let me tell you that, you know, when you go to about 40 years and above, I don't know what they call utondo in English. Janet, you know some good English. You struggle with the word. So let's English teacher, madam. Itondo bazitabaja mu Luzungu. Mukitegedde. Senaku zino nina etondo kubanga ndi ku 52 years. Discipline is about knowing why Allah created you. So you should be able, I don't like the mic, you should be able, first of all, you yourself as a person, as an individual, to know who you are. Many of us are just here, and that is the course I'm doing. You know that's how the marks were. So I scored that, so I'm being a teacher, I am doing nursing. It is away from that. Now that you are there, what do you see yourself being? 10 years, 15 years, inshallah, from now. Write it down. Discipline is about, first of all, understanding yourself. I see some of you are writing on papers. Discipline is about understanding who you are, writing down what you anticipate to be, and reviewing it over and over again. You cannot review things that are going to be flying like this. Today you come for a seminar, you write on a paper, it falls like this. Tomorrow it falls. Some of you want even to show me that they can actually grab all what is going to be discussed by these eminent women here. They are going to grab them. I also appreciate you can write on your notepad. Okay? So being disciplined, first of all, is understanding what you want to be. And what does that mean? It means that, first of all, there is what we call self-focus. Do you focus on yourself at a point in time? Leave alone your parents paying fees, tuition and whatever. Do you sit and try to understand, envision yourself? Close your eyes and think, what am I going to be? What do I see myself being? If you don't do that, you are the type of person who will keep lamenting. Oh, Manang, I hate Saturday lectures. Oh, I hate early morning lectures. Woo, they have given us assignments. Do you do assignments?
There are tutorials. I hate that teacher all the time is asking for tests because you don't have a personal focus. Serve you as you. Being disciplined is about understanding that success begins with you. It begins with, can you say it begins with me?
It begins with me.
Can you feel yourself and say 2 times, it begins with me?
It begins with me.
Now I see some people can't even follow instructions. That is a discipline. Can we say 2 times, think inside you, just feel like you are actually talking to your heart or mind. 1, 2, 3, we go.
It begins with me.
By the way, sometimes for me when I'm there in my corner, I even try to be there and I'm like, actually it begins with me. You know how girls want to, eh? It begins with what? So discipline begins with you. By understanding what you want to be. Whatever you are studying is just a beginning. So if it begins with you as a person, do you have a personal development book? That's why I know some of you were here and I left that assignment. How many people have a personal growth book? How many, I know we are children, but ladies are multitaskers, eh? How many of us have a personal growth book? Next time, what is the GRD? Who is that person who was calling the deadlines? What is she? How can we make sure that as Muslim girls, wherever you are, the other time I left an assignment, can you have a book where you write things you have learned? Discipline begins with writing down. Why? Scientifically, we believe that if you don't write, you forget almost 70%. So one of the assignments, discipline is about writing down wherever you got such audiences. Write down, that's your personal growth book or agenda. When you pick a thing, write it down. Don't say, okay, I learned all the things. Write, even if you write one thing. So far, what have you written? Discipline is, let me see. You know my teacher. Now here they don't allow eating. Discipline and knowing, okay, why Allah created you. Great. Discipline begins with a personal growth agenda. You have WhatsApp. You read something there, a TikTok or whatever. Write down something you learn. Every day you must learn something new. Leave alone your mainstream subjects or course units or whatever. Discipline begins with having a personal growth what? Agenda that you write in your personal growth. Today I allow you to talk while you are eating. Okay? A personal growth book that has your personal growth agenda. That is discipline. Hence, the discipline of a growth mind. Think about growing. As the body is growing, your mind must grow. And what does that mean? For you to have a growth agenda, you must be writing down. What relationships do you have? Do you know in every society, there are people who always pull others down? Do you realize that? Yes. Do you have those types of relationships amongst the girls here or boys that always help you to achieve your agenda? Otherwise, if someone says, Saturday lectures, Sisi Soma, that person doesn't know your personal growth what? agenda because it's personal. Then you say, by the way, so that person, in that Saturday to wake up. Relationships. I'm not talking about romantic relationships yet. I'm talking about the ordinary relationships that help us to grow. Do you have a growth partner? Someone who actually you can share with and say, I want to improve like this. I want to learn to read the Quran. I want to learn this. I have a problem with calculating this. I have a problem with this. Can you help me? Or someone just pulls you down. Discipline is about identifying the people in the community that help you to actualize your personal growth agenda. You get what I mean? What have I said so far? One thing. I see people are pulling out papers. I have very little time.
Yes, someone who has set a self-agenda.
Should have what?
Self-agenda.
How many versions of Facebook, WhatsApp, and whatever have you learned? Is it your parents who taught you? Why do you lament? Personal growth agenda, learn things that are going to help you survive. Fidunia world. That's why we are surviving. I can no longer be lamenting. You know? Discipline is about focusing on your body. Two things. As you focus on your body, first of all, I keep saying, at this age you look so beautiful. I don't see smiles and I didn't see you saying thank you. At this age you look so what? Beautiful. Yes, some people have said beautiful. Yeah. At this age you look what? You should be smiling as you are talking. Do you know if your boy ever says you are beautiful? Do you know the way you can smile? This is for me when I say the way you can smile. But now we say instead of focus. And the people cannot even smile when they are telling themselves that I am beautiful. I am what? Feel it. Discipline is about acknowledging that you are actually what? It is even going beyond to think that you are the most beautiful girl in the world and beyond. You are the most beautiful? Yeah. Discipline is about knowing that you are beautiful because your body is beautiful. Who is beautiful? Me. By the way, English, don't they say I? Is it me or I?
Having connected on social media, I really find it very nice that spices our life. I'm telling you, we live a boring life. Me and these people, our life was very boring. If you must stay friend, either you walk there or you enter later. You can imagine how we suffered. Alhamdulillah, times have changed. And we also appreciate that these times you are different people, you are using that wonderful innovation that we can use. The Rasul I had already talked about them, that they will come. And we are very appreciative about them in the communities where we are staying. However, my dear little sisters and daughters, however, the usage. Food is good when you overeat. Sugar is good when you overtake it.
Everything in this life is good. When you overdo, it becomes bad. So what is it that social media maybe we are not doing right about? Despite the fact it's a very good gadget, it's a very good tool. Like education is very good, but sometimes it gives us a lot of exposure to a level that pornography and homosexuality can become normal. Those who didn't go to school, this makes it to taboo. What are our advantages? What are the disadvantages of social media? Or what are the challenges?
Thank you very much. We are correcting the registration sheets. Please give them to her. And question for Hajat. Okay, some of you have not signed. Yes.
Yes,
how many of you have not signed? Yes. Please go on.
Okay. Social media can lead to suicide. Osobola kwetta. Esobola kudepressing. The picture you were seeing, there was an accident, a blood is oozing out. You're seeing people cutting others. It will stress you and depress you of any sort. And you go up without knowing how the vagina looks like. By the time I grew up, I never knew because I couldn't smile. I didn't know that I have to put a mirror there and I see how it looks like. But all of you today, that's what you do. It has its challenges. Okay? So we see good and bad images. You want to watch pornography? At your disposal. You want to see people playing sex? At your disposal. I don't know whether the Senate still have a duty. Basema kalene milimu. Ajabu sungula kugulira bichikale byotamanyi. Byotalabye ku social media. Ajabu kugulira byebirembejje ebifo. But keep the relationship with your Savior. It is quite important. You want to know the day you are going to meet that woman. Whether related or not. Whether rich or not. My dears, I'm not related to that thing. I'm not. Because okay, so, my dear sisters, social media makes us look for approval from our peers, whether we are good enough. Isn't it? You want approval, and at all times, you want other people to comment. To comment you are smart, you look nice, you've done that one well. How? You look at people's status and shut up. On the status, I dressed well. I'm eating nice food. I have this, I'm flying out. Bye. Ladies, there are a lot of other people who don't wish you good. A lot more people who do not wish you good, you are telling them what you are. So, with success, you don't lose anything. If you don't put it there, it does not mean that you didn't get it. Kindly share less of your personal life. I'm telling you, share less of your personal life. Share more of constructive and meaningful things. The moment you do that, eventually, because even on the online programs, people look for the content. Actually, what are you talking about? Okay? So time will come when you are looking for a job. And they look at your account. What were you posting? What are your posts like? Okay? What are your posts like? You may think you are young. Some of those things will backfire as you grow. You want an important job, you are going to get your profile unannounced. So as you are working, every step you are making, make sure you can account for it. Until then, information will be required about you. I really feel it creates an idealistic life. Life on social media is not real. Don't overdo yourself. Don't overdo yourself. Otherwise, women of substance do not overdo themselves. After all, they already have the substance. Okay? Be smart, but do not overdo yourself. You see people wanting to behave like bad blood, and you were blood weight.